After making landfall as a Category 2 hurricane in Louisiana, Francine is on the move. We have the latest track. And the mother of the 14-year-old suspect in last week's deadly school shooting in Georgia apologizes in an open letter to the victims' families. The Morning Rundown starts now.
From the Straight Arrow News Studio, bringing the stories that matter to you from across the United States and around the world. This is the Morning Rundown.
Today is Thursday, September 12th. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kara Rucker. We begin with the latest on Hurricane Francine, which has weakened to a tropical storm overnight, hours after it made landfall in Louisiana as a Category 2 storm on Wednesday and is now trekking over Mississippi. Power outages have left more than 350,000 Louisiana residents in the dark as they hunkered down from the storm. Flash flood warnings are still in effect in parts of the state, and this morning the storm is also battering parts of Mississippi with 70-mile-per-hour winds. In Louisiana's Terrebonne Parish, the powerful storm brought down power lines, snapped trees, and floodwaters. Partial 911 outages were also reported in areas impacted by the storm. Wireless companies say they are working on the issue. High winds and a potentially dangerous storm surge from a now weakened Francine are expected to also continue into Mississippi and Alabama over the next few hours, with the potential for deadly tornadoes and flash flooding as well. According to the National Weather Service, Francine is expected to continue to weaken over the next 24 hours, downgrading to a tropical cyclone by Friday as it moves across the south. It's been 1 week since a school shooting in Georgia that left 2 students and 2 teachers dead. The 14-year-old suspect's mother has now come forward, writing an open letter that was first obtained by CNN, apologizing to the victims' families. This comes just as we also learned this week the mother made a phone call to the school the morning of the shooting, just moments prior to the gunfire. Marcy Gray is the mother of the 14-year-old Colt Gray, who has been arrested and charged with murder in the Appalachia High School shooting. The mother writing an open letter saying she is sorry from the bottom of my heart to the parents and families impacted. She also says if she could take the place of the 2 students who died, she would without a second thought. While offering her condolences, she also wrote that her son Colt is not a monster, but her oldest baby, and asked the community for prayers while offering her own. Her letter comes after we learned her son Colt sent his mother a text message the morning of the shooting, saying 3 words, "I'm sorry, Mom." Marcy Gray says she called the school to warn of an extreme emergency at 9:50 a.m. last Wednesday, asking school officials to go get her son. 30 minutes later, police were responding to reports of the school shooting. Colt Gray, charged with murder, and his father, charged with second-degree murder, will appear in court December 4th for preliminary hearings. President Joe Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris, and former President Donald Trump all marked 23 years since 9/11 together. Trump and Harris could be seen shaking hands ahead of the annual memorial ceremony at Ground Zero in New York yesterday, just hours after their first debate. Trump's running mate, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, was also in attendance. After the Ground Zero ceremony, the candidates went their separate ways, with Trump and Vance visiting a New York City firehouse and Biden and Harris heading to the Flight 93 National Memorial in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. Trump also visited that memorial later in the day. Harris's running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, marked the somber anniversary at a 9/11 volunteer event in his home state. As Election Day nears, the Secret Service has announced there will be increased security during Congress's counting and certification of electoral votes, the first since the riots at the U.S. Capitol in 2021. The Department of Homeland Security has designated the once routine post-election gathering as a national special security event, on par with the State of the Union address and the Super Bowl. The designation unlocks federal, state, and local resources. The Secret Service will be leading the planning of the event. The counting and certification of electoral votes will take place on January 6th of 2025. More than 67 million Americans tuned in for the first debate between former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris. That's more eyes on Trump and Harris compared to the 51 million that watched the debate between Trump and President Joe Biden in June. However, it's still far fewer people compared to modern general election debates like the one in 2016 between Hillary Clinton and Trump that drew in 84 million viewers. Tuesday's debate marked the first time Americans got to see Harris and Trump go head-to-head. If there will be a second debate between the two is still up in the air. Finally this morning, Campbell Soup has been a staple in American kitchens for more than 100 years, but not anymore. After 155 years in business, the company is changing its name slightly. They're dropping soup from their official title and rebranding as the Campbell's Company. That's because instead of just soup, the company now owns other iconic American eats like Goldfish, Cape Cod, and Pepperidge Farms. These are your top stories for this Thursday. And before we go, I want to share some big news. Some changes are coming to the Morning Rundown. Starting this coming Monday, September 16th, the Morning Rundown is getting a new name, Unbiased Updates. There will also be a new face behind the desk. Craig Negrelli, an experienced journalist, will be taking over in the morning to host Unbiased Updates. Every Monday through Friday, you can still expect the same consistent, fact-focused information you've come to expect from us. And as for me, I'll still be here bringing you important stories throughout the week, continuing the mission just on a new schedule. There's more exciting things to come here at SAN, so please stay tuned. We're excited for this new chapter, and we hope you'll stay with us on the journey. I'm Kara Rucker. I hope you have a great day.